then you head to the course the next day. By the end of that day, they're all going to each other.
That'd be very cool to have for orientation. Yeah.
And there'd be supportive too, because some of like the little secretive rules of these courses is that it's all about encouragement. Because when you're building a team, communication, encouragement, positivity is obviously what makes a successful team. So when you look at those aspects of it, it's not just for kids. You've got big corporations that come down to Chatham Bars Inn, to Wauquasit, for these little retreats for their, middle managers that are upper echelon people. What would stop them from being like, hey, getting all of everybody together and doing this course and renting it out for a day or two? Because in essence, what I don't want this to be is I don't want this to be a money suck in this town. And this could be utilized not only by our district, obviously, but by, districts all the way to Plymouth. And also different companies from whoever comes to the game. And that could be a year-round opportunity for everybody to do some team building, adventure-based learning, and group dynamics. And a lot of these buzzwords that I'm kind of throwing out here, those are things that obviously I picked up in my education and in my background, but it's also things that I have from Project Adventures pamphlets themselves.
Do you have pamphlets to pass out?
I do.
So you could give those to Eric and ask him to do so. That'd be great.
So I have got a bunch. So let's start with, these ones are mine. So put those off to the side. First thing I'm gonna pass around to everybody is a map.
Hand them over.
Let's see here. Huge stack here. All right, there you go. Let's pass those around. So guys, that's a map.
You need one more here when you get a chance for this.
There should be a couple more there.
Yeah, they're coming around.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Coming around.
So basically we know what we're looking at here.
Thank you.
The area that I had in mind, and obviously I'm not necessarily saying that this has to be here, because obviously I'm just trying to get the ball rolling here, but is the parcel of land diagonally across from us, the woods, which is basically in between the road and White House Field. There's that tract of woods.
Right here.
Yep. And this right here, when you're doing groups, the groups are basically limited to like a classroom size. They're not going to be louder they're not going to be as loud as a home game when someone hits a banger. It's not going to bother the neighbors. I think that's a good spot. There's also land further back, but closer to the road.
Yeah.
Be able to have eyes on it. When there's if Harwich Police Unit is doing their drive-by, we don't have to worry about somebody getting in there and graffiti or any destruction of property. So but like I said, I'm not saying this is where it has to be, but that's an idea.
Just to be clear, while we're on this topic, that land is under the jurisdiction of the school.
Yep.
Just so we're all clear. There was a question on that, and we did get it clarified.
Yep.
So.
And I appreciate the legwork on that. And we did have a conversation with Doc Carpenter, and although they can't say like, hey, we want to build it, because obviously land and schools and they're busy, we understand that, but they are supportive of it and are behind this idea. They do agree that this is obviously something that'd be good for the district as far as the school kids go. The next little packet I'm going to pass out here, just pass that along.
Sure.
These are basically directly from the Project Adventure website. It talks about outcomes, ideas, and basically goals for these types of programs. And I kind of covered a lot of that. But basically, like I used to work at these programs, and a story I like to tell is when you're, they don't call you like a counselor or an instructor, they call you a facilitator, because you're kind of molding the group as you see the group. As in, if you have a very, very strong-willed person that is, wants to control the group at all points in times, as a good facilitator, you want everybody to have an opportunity to be a leader. You don't call the person out by name, but you change the rules of the game. You might glance down at their sneakers and see, they've got, red Nikes on. And so all of a sudden you just say, oh, something has changed and there's a gas that's enveloped everybody. And if you're wearing red Nikes, you've lost the ability to communicate with the group. You can no longer speak. And you kind of mold the group to try to allow other people the opportunity to rise. If somebody is, how should I say it, taking up too much time, not letting anybody have a say. Same thing goes, if you see a shy person maybe in the group, you don't want to put them out of their comfort zone too much, but you might kind of change the rules where they might have to step up into that leadership role. And a lot of times what this does is it allows kids and adults to break out of their shell. The other story I like to tell is that these elements, whether they're a high element or a low element on the course, can be geared towards specific groups. We had an element that was called the peanut butter pit that was a low element on our course. And basically what it was a giant pit filled with sand, and the group had to get from one side to the other only using a certain number of boards. And some were round, some were square. And my teacher there that taught me all these things, I had a group coming in that was an Alcoholics Anonymous group. And he basically said to me, he said, when you have to do the peanut butter pit. And I said, well, that's not that exciting. And he said, listen, this is what you do. You take one of the boards and you hide in a bush. And I go, that'll make it impossible. And he goes, I know. And I go, and he explained it to me. We would make it impossible for that group. And we would kind of let them know that at any point in time they could ask for help. And that was what the teaching moment of that element was. Because these were people in AA. They weren't going to be getting help for their affliction unless they asked for help. And so that moment in itself was the teaching moment. That you weren't going to be successful. I rigged it against you. But you asked for help. Here's your board. In a nutshell. But that's kind of like the gist of being a good facilitator. The next thing I'm going to pass around to you guys to kind of, because I don't want to take up all your time because I can be chatty.
Yeah, and once you're done passing it out, I'm gonna open it up while you're here, Jeffrey, to the commission to see if there are any questions.
So
and this is the initial introduction, obviously.
Yes, and this right here, it took a lot, it's both-sided, it took a lot to get this information because Project Adventure was started in the late 70s in Beverly, Mass. They're a nonprofit. When I was trying to get estimates for, amount of land needed, general ideas on pricing, I was met with a little bit of resistance because obviously if we don't have a contract with them, as it was explained to me, they had done a lot of legwork as of late and spent a lot of money and a lot of hours working to then have everything just kind of fall apart. And so I said, I understand, and so I was doing my best to try to come up with some figures on my own, but all of a sudden, I get an estimate for a few of the ideas and a few of the elements that I talked about with the representative in Beverly. That is just the basis. The one thing I like about this parcel of land and that this idea is that this is something that can grow. You can start off with a bunch of low elements because they're cost effective and a few high elements, and then as the benefit and the goodness kind of comes, you can make additions to the course. But that's a basic kind of nutshell for a basic high element course, land needed and the funds. And that is with using not existing trees here, but using telephone poles so that there's more longevity in the construction of the site. The last thing I'm gonna pass around, just so I don't keep you guys here. This just kind of goes into the methodology and the basics and the ideas behind adventure-based learning. And so that's kind of my idea. I think it would be, like I said, good for the kids, good for adults, could add some jobs, and, you know, I just think it would be a nice little addition to this kind of area. It's kind of all about community, and this kind of, I think, would be a very big benefit to our community.
Okay, I'm gonna open it up to the floor.
Yeah, feel free to shoot away with any questions.
Not yet. I'll have
Yeah, there's
questions
a
in
lot
the
to-
future. I need to digest this.
Okay.
This is a totally different, new concept to me. So I'd like to do some more research.
Michael?
Thanks, Jeffrey, for the presentation. Would this organization come and run a type of program if the town donated land or had land or anything like that? Or are you looking for this to be a town operation from one end to the other?
Well, see, what would happen is say we did decide to move forward and we had a parcel of land. Even if it was before we had the land, but we were still kind of needing approval on funding and all of that, but if we sign like a basic agreement with Project Adventure, they include kind of lobbying on your behalf. They'll send down representatives to explain the benefits of their adventure-based learning. But what they do basically is, and it's all within here, so this estimate includes like a four-wheel drive aerial lift, clearing the land and all the materials to build, and also to get people that are gonna work the course, to get them certified to run it.
I think that's what Michael's asking.
Yeah.
Who is going to be
That-
responsible for
That would be
day-to-day
people,
operations?
that would be people in this town.
Okay, so it would be a recreation
Staff.
staff.
Yeah.
We don't know if it'll be recreation. School may, I doubt it, but school could always say,
Take it over.
they
Yeah.
wanna take it over.
They do have already in the Monomoy district, that was originally for Chatham, but in the Chatham, the Slim Gym they call it, which is their smaller gym, they have Project Adventure high course elements that hang, you know, like they drop them out of the rafters with like a pulley system. I have had a conversation with,
Middle school, at the middle.
at the middle school now, yeah,
Yeah.
originally
Yeah.
that Chatham was.
Yeah.
And I have talked to Miss Andrews, who's the gym teacher there. She's the one who's certified in Project Adventure. She obviously was like, this is a great idea. A big course out, and obviously outdoors, it's a whole nother level. I mean, and I'm not trying to take away from that because, you know, even when we were all in gym class back in the day, and I don't even know if they still do it, but I remember having to climb the rope.
Yeah.
Like when you got up to the top of the rope, and you kind of looked down at everybody in the gym, that was an accomplishment. So this is like that, but tenfold. Other districts, Nauset at their high school has an older course that's in between their turf field and their grass field, kind of in that, like where the walkways are, there's a couple.
Probably long gone now,
No,
because
it's-
it's all getting torn down.
Well, it's still there, and my friend Addie is the one who's certified there. Addie is born and raised in Harwich. Her father's a lobsterman. When I was talking to her about this, she literally was like, yes, Harwich needs this.
So are they keeping it in Nauset with their new construction?
She said that they needed to do some, to get Project Adventure to come down and do some maintenance on it. So I don't know if that means that they're moving it or whatnot, but basically, so this isn't something that's, you know, brand new to this area, but they have, you know, like smaller setups indoors. And obviously, it's only for the kids that are going to that school system.
I'm gonna go back to Michael.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is there, it's gotta be staffed by somebody,
Okay,
you know, be it rec or whatever it might be.
they'll come get us off the ground, but from there on, it's.
Yeah, and the place where I worked at, we had firefighters, policemen, and other people that had, like odd schedules. And basically, like when somebody would book, you know, it would go up there and, you know, you just go up and be like, oh yeah, I've got that day for you, yeah, I'll sign up to do that.
It's like you're on call.
You know,
Yeah.
and you could just, you got to choose when you wanted to be a facilitator. And the one thing that's neat, this isn't like the ropes course that unfortunately was taken down at Sandwich where you've got 40 people or 30 people up at one time where you have to have like a large staff. Low elements, obviously one person.
Yeah.
High elements too, because you need to be belayed and you want the group to support you because that's the whole purpose of like the group dynamics is being supported. So 2 people max, because if you're doing like a 2-person element, Jacob's ladder, where 2 people try to climb like a 10-foot wide ladder where the spaces get exponentially wider. So by the time you get to the top, somebody has to boost somebody else to the net, and like you try to get everybody up there, or both people. Yeah, you need 2 people to do the blade, but that's it. It's not, you're not needing a huge staff. And if you only have the 1 staff, then you stick to the higher elements that only need 1 blade person. As far as safety goes, I don't have pure factual numbers, but honestly, I would say that I pretty much could bet a burger and a beer that more kids get hurt on atypical playgrounds in this country than do on high ropes courses.
Absolutely.
I would agree.
Yeah.
More kids get hurt on TikTok.
Van?
Jeff, as I understand your program, you're gonna take over the land over there, or you wanna use the land over there, you're gonna have to cut down some trees.
Hey, Van, let me clarify. There's no specified piece of land, any piece of land, so let's keep it,
okay.
if we could, because I don't want this hitting the news tomorrow.
Yeah.
That we're clear.
So wherever you go, you're gonna have to probably do some clearing.
A little bit.
Yeah, and put up your own program, your own materials and so on and so forth.
Yep.
The $68,000, the figure that you reflect here, where is it coming from? Who's gonna?
That's from Project Adventure themselves, who would be doing the clearing, the construction, and that also includes certification for people to work the course.
Okay. Is there a liability portion to this? You have
That would have to fall under probably the town's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
the school department.
Questions.
Well, whoever
Takes
it over, yeah.
Well, the interesting thing is that land is zoned for Harwich schools. So since now we're merged and we're a district with Chatham, I'm not sure if that is something that would be, eventually was gonna be changed to a different zoning anyways, because
It's not zoned, it's assessed.
it's assessed.
It's assessed, it's under care and custody of the school. And there is a difference, just so we're clear on that.
What are you looking for from the recreation department? Are you looking for us to, A, support or provide you with other resources like personnel or funding or whatever? What is it that you're asking for?
So I don't work for Project Adventure. I just kind of saw a need and started making phone calls and sending emails.
Initial
yeah,
discussion, Jeffrey.
Yeah.
It's the initial discussion, we have no idea.
Exactly.
I just made a list of.
In other words, are you
I think it's more
suggesting
support
or
than
asking
anything.
that the rec department become intimately involved with you folks?
Basically, yes, and there's no real folks, it's just me. I'm here
Oh, with the
basically
program.
as a citizen. Because since this kind of does fall under the category of recreation, this would be something that even if I was to, skip ahead and try to get funding and, throw a big bake sale and say, all of a sudden somebody dropped all this money in my lap and somebody gave me the land. The town eventually would probably be throwing it towards you guys anyways. And so this, I felt like, was the next step.
Do you have corporations, other agencies out there that support your program, or this program?
Well, my committee is behind it, which is the Youth Services Committee. Basically, Scott Carpenter thinks it's a great idea, but he said that the school would not probably want to be the group to be building such a project.
Financially.
Yeah. So, whether it's, community preservation funds, whatever the ball is, kind of like however it can roll. I just kind of had this idea, I kind of started throwing it out there, people were receptive, and so, it's my off season, I had some free time.
May I suggest that if you look into the Berkshires, they have several programs that you're referring to. Up in the woods there in the Berkshires, they do a lot of this. It might be something that you might want to look into.
I just think it would be really great for the town, because besides like the kid factor, this is something that, lots of different groups could use. And, I mean, whether it's, Joey's third birthday party and mom and dad want to rent it out, great. If it's, Fidelity, all the middle managers that are coming down to Waquasit, which, as we know, I think, if you were at the selectmen's meeting, they are going year round. Their big business coming year round is going to probably.
So there are no age limits, in other words, right now? Okay.
And depending on the elements that you do, you could even have it for special populations. I worked at one of Paul Newman's camps for terminally ill and chronically ill children, and we had kids that were quadriplegics. But there was one element that their fellow campers would help get them up to the platform.
Right.
Obviously, there'd be a belay, so like the kids all of a sudden, one kid tickled another kid, nothing happens. But we would get them up as a group up there, make sure that they say, yeah, I want to do this, and then help them, give them a little nudge, and down the zip line they go.
Developing a man of trust.
Yeah,
Exactly.
trust.
Exactly. Where it's trustful.
Leah?
I absolutely love it, 100%, on so many levels. I have kids in the Monomoy school district. I also teach behaviorally challenged children, so I can see this on so many levels. I love it as a revenue level source as well. The location, I agree, it's a great location, but with the school kind of involvement and where they probably won't want to back that financially, but they'll want to use it as much as possible. I would love, and again, discussion, nobody jump at me, I would love to see it become a rec program. I'd love to see it be, however we can do the land or move it somewhere that is rec developed, that is assessed for the recreation department, because this could give us so many opportunities for things. We can offer it to other school districts that don't offer this. DY can host a field trip, different,
Sure.
the collaborative. I mean, there's so many other little groups that can come and use it. Summer camp, I see it being a huge draw
that'd be
for
huge.
the summer camp days. Honestly, it really is an incredible idea and endless. So I guess, and I will say that this price, I mean, that's a good price compared to some of the other projects.
It's a lot
and
cheaper than I
prices
thought it
we've
was gonna
seen.
be.
Me
Yeah.
too. And some of the other projects that we've seen come through here with these outrageous numbers that we just really have to say, but I feel like that's a very doable fundraising number as well. So yeah, I mean, that's really all I have to say. I would really like to see it be kind of taken out of the idea of being just for the school, moved into the Rec's hands totally.
Yeah, I mean, the camp aspect of it, I mean, even like a camp that's a little further away, it's in Nickerson, but Nanky Rafe.
Yep.
Like, imagine those kids.
Yeah. That's the old Dream Day, right?
Yeah, it's still Dream Day.
It's still Dream Day, yeah.
And I'm a Dream Day family. My son went there. We went there as a family, but my son was a camper there. They do a lot of amazing things there, but that would definitely be something where, near the end of their week.
Absolutely.
Huge highlight.
Huge, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I do, and that's okay. I think that if as we move forward with it, I think it's something we can consider as not only a great piece for the community, but also a good revenue source for the rec as well.
Yeah.
So anything that I personally can do to help you, just reach out.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Michael, did you have another question?
No, it was more just a comment after you brought up cost. Would this trigger any of the procurement?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
It may start out at a reasonable rate, but we have to start dealing
Oh,
with
I-
procurement.
The way I know with the way things go too is that this estimate, as soon as I printed it out of my printer when I first got it, it probably was already up by 4%.
Yeah, we've had that, I had that conversation with Jeffrey, the procurement process is slow, it has to go through town meeting, the whole thing, and it could take 2 or 3 years for this to get off the ground. And at that point, that number could be God knows what. But yeah, so you're right on the head with that one.
But even if, sorry to interrupt, but even if it goes up by like 40%, we're
Yeah.
at
That's
Still,
100,000.
you're still at
We're at $100,000.
$100,000, yeah.
I mean, some of the things that have come across that, you know, they're just
Bleachers.
outrageous. Yeah, I mean, we're talking, even with their procurement is outrageous to me. And
Yep.
so this, I see it as a real investment. One question that I would have would be the yearly and or biannual, however comes the upkeep, and how much that would cost us, and who does that? Do they come down?
I have a
Care of it?
feeling since that wasn't included, this is, you know, because I asked for like, you know, I did ask for just kind of like
Basic.
I was like, I just need a ballpark.
Yeah.
And I couldn't even get a ballpark for like, it was like email after email.
But that's a ballpark.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
this is
It's
a
an
ballpark.
excellent ballpark, yeah.
And I know that when, I only worked there for a few years, and it was, during college and a little bit after college. Each individual facilitator, once they got, you know, you got the job, once you were kind of getting, just like a lot of jobs are, once you kind of like get near where you have to get recertified, that's kind of on you. You know, and you can go up and do it as a group. They gave a discount, so we had a few of us go to get recertified. It was like half a day.
Right.
It was fairly affordable. It was typical. As far as the general inspection, you know, the one thing that I like about dealing with them, because there are, that I looked at, private companies that build these courses, you know, that are for profit. Project Venture is like a good institution, you know, and it's kind of like a founding father of adventure-based learning. I can't see them kind of raking everybody over the coals.
Yeah, I have a feeling those private for-profits are probably double, if not triple these.
Yeah, I would think so, yeah.
David, you have another question or a question?
Yeah, the more I listen, the more interested I am. The dinosaur has never heard of this before, so it's a learning process. And the property itself makes a lot of sense. But this is all great, wonderful idea. You've got to secure the property.
Yeah.
And carrying custody, I've been
It's
battling
above,
that issue with that.
that's above our pay grade.
That's right.
It's above our pay grade.
That's the most important component of this entire exercise. You get the property, everything will fall into place.
Yeah.
So that's the Board of Selectmen and that's the school.
But I think
Parent,
our support will go a long way towards
Does somebody
this.
want
can we make a
to,
motion? Oh, sorry, Mr. Chair.
does someone want to put a motion together that we support the concept?
So moved.
Eric, you got that?
With a letter, or just in general, or?
In general, that if Jeffrey went before the school committee or whatever, you could say, I was before the rec commission, and they voted to support
Okay.
the concept.
And
That's it.
who is it, so
Leah was
who,
the fir-
you made it, okay,
David was
Okay,
the
got it.
second. Any discussion?
If possible, I'd like a letter, because when you're putting together a packet for future things, it's nice to see a letter in there.
Letter it is.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave, will you change your motion to include a letter, please?
Change.
got it.
Thank you.
With
So is
letter.
a motion and a second to provide a letter of approval of the concept. Okay? Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Please a vote.
Alright.
Thanks, Jeff.
So my recommendation is, next thing you go and talk to the powers that be at the school.
All right.
Yeah,
And hopefully.
and I'll get a letter from you.
Hopefully you'll have the same response.
I'll just,
Something in my.
Speak a
I
little
think I
louder.
gotta I'm just gonna make sure that I don't chat him up to death, but maybe if I chat him up too much.
Thank you, sir.
I know.
Yeah.
They'll prove it just so I'll be done with it.
There you go.
There you go.
Be last on the agenda.
Yeah, 11 o'clock.
Well, you know, being on the youth services, that's why when they do like they go through all the committees, you know, I'm like, oh, it's alphabetical.
Why? Yeah. Rec is down there too.
Well, my phone, my email,
I was gonna ask for the one here.
I don't believe I did.
I have it. I can give it to you. Yeah.
But I'm available for any questions.
Yep, it's on the first page.
And,
Oh,
Top.
and, you know, obviously, I really appreciate your guys' time tonight.
Great.
And feel free to reach out if you guys have any comments or
Thanks
questions.
for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jack.
Thank you.
Enjoy the rest of your meeting.
Good luck with your next step.
Oh, thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Eric, I don't see the minutes,
They're not in here.
so we'll table.
So,
it.
yeah, table those. Yep.
Bianca is not present. Request for reduced fee from Bob Kemple Senior Softball Classic Tournament.
Yep. I can give you the rundown on that.
Yeah, if you want to give us a rundown.
So every year, this is for the Cape Classic, senior softball tournament. Usually it's a reduction from 1,800 to 1,200. This year, there's an extra field added in. It's 6 days, $150 a day. Usually it's 2 fields. This year it's 3. So instead of 1,800, it would have been 2,700. So they're asking for the same reduction percentage-wise, from 2,700 to 1,800 instead of 1,800 to 1,200. So this is something that's been approved by the commission for at least 10 straight years. So that's that.
So moved.
We have a motion, do we have a second? For the sake of discussion, Michael?
I'll second that discussion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second for discussion. Leah, any comments, questions?
I'm just checking my math.
Yep.
So it's a six, no, because it would be 6. We usually gave them a $600.
Yeah, so it's 150 a day times 6 days, so it's 900 per field for the tournament. It's usually 2 fields, so it would have been 1,800 reduced to 12. This year, there's a 3rd field added on, the new field that we have out back, so it would have been 2,700. So they're not looking to still get 12, they're just looking to go to 1,800.
Same amount for each field.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Got it.
Michael?
It's more of a comment, I know it's come up a million times, very supportive of the request, the event being held in town, it's just, I think, somewhere along the future, a commission policy on these fee waivers, because it just kind of seems like it's,
We're working on that too.
it just, that way it's consistent across the board.
The big difference between senior softball and others is they put a lot of financial support into that facility. Where you don't see that in Exchange, you don't see that in some of these other places. Because I thought of that right out of the gate too. And then the brain went off and said, they put a lot of money, and they just put a lot of money out back and doing that field out there too. So
That's an
just
excellent
something to
point.
keep in mind. David, any questions, comments? Okay. Do we have we have a motion? We already have a motion
Dave
and a
made it.
second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Present. Absent.
Or you're,
abstain.
so 4-0,
Yeah,
yep, okay.
thank you, Dave. I realized that. Okay, so that's that. Director's report, please, Eric?
Yep, couple updates, let me see here. Brooks Park fencing project, that's gonna begin, I just got a call today, it's gonna begin on Monday. So they're gonna be taking all the fencing out on Monday, they're gonna save everything they can, and they're gonna look at our other list of things, including Senior Memorial Field, and the list we have there for repairs. And they're gonna let us know what they can do. See what else I have. Summer staff, the deadline is Friday for our summer staff to get all their stuff in. So next week we'll be evaluating, but I think we're in pretty good shape so far for summer staff, camp, gate guards, and lifeguards.
You having difficulty hiring this year?
A little bit, but I think when it's all said and done and the dust settles, we'll be okay.
How are our salaries compared to our neighbors?
We're pretty much right in the middle. So we're not the highest, we're not the lowest.
So we're not losing any of our.
To other towns, not so far. So hopefully it stays that way. Online registration companies, we've met with 6 now. I just met with another one this morning. It's our 3rd time meeting with them. They're sending over an official proposal. there's a lot of good companies out there. It's just a matter of finding one that fits what we need the most. We should have money built into the budget. We put $5,000 in our budget this year for it. That won't be confirmed until May town meeting, and it'll go into effect July. But just for example, and this is pretty much standard throughout all the companies we've talked to, this morning's company, I said, well, if we said, tomorrow, like, let's do it. We don't have the money until July 1st, but let's go ahead and do it. How long does it take to set up? They said they could have us going by fall programming season. It takes 2 to 3 months to set it up. It's also on average about $3,000 for a setup fee, and this one this morning that I talked to was about $200 a month going forward. So.
So 2,400 a year.
Yeah, yep. So, but we're gonna keep the 5 there.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? on
Sure,
that one?
sure.
Have you, and I really appreciate the legwork that has gone into this,
Yep,
because
yep.
it's a really important thing that I think we need. Have you spoken to IT, like town IT, to see if it's something that can just be implemented into the website instead of an outside company? Because I know that there are other towns that just do it right through their website. Have you spoken with them?
No, but I know it's not a possibility. For example, beach stickers, they had to have a whole different company come in and do everything. It's just not, that's not how it would work.
It's not feasible for
No,
us to do that?
no. It would have to be a company. We'd have to have a company come in and do it.
Okay.
And just curiosity, why is that?
I don't know.
Town thing?
Yeah, yep.
Didn't they change it to independent? Plus they revamped the whole, the getting rid of the media system.
No, that's Microsoft.
They're going to Office
365.
365.
That's the town network. That's not, I don't think that has anything to do with this, but,
No.
this is a separate thing.
Okay.
So,
So there's definitely, okay.
Yeah.
I
Yep.
can see that as being a frustrating hurdle for you.
yes, very much.
Procurement involved in this too?
No, because it's under a certain amount of money.
under the-
We could- Yeah, we can make the purchase, yep. So we're waiting for that last proposal from them, and then we're gonna sit down and pick one and go with it.
So if I'm clear, you said that company was told tomorrow to move forward. So the bottom line is, we're not looking at this till winter session, if we get the money in town meeting.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, we can't book somebody until we know for sure that we have the money there.
Right, of course. So July 2nd, or no, actually May, after the
Yep,
meeting,
yep.
right.
But they still said that, and I told them that this morning, the group that I met with this morning. I said, well, even if we were to say tomorrow, we want to do this, we don't have the money for sure until May town meeting, and then even then, we don't have it until July 1st. That's when the fiscal year re-ups.
Is this part of your budget?
Yep.
It's currently in your budget, it's not part of.
It's not currently in this year's budget.
That's why we have to wait.
The plan is for it to be in next fiscal year's budget, FY '24.
So you can't take any of this out of revolving account?
Yeah.
No,
Use revolving loan?
Yeah, it would be a line in our expense budget. So, but I told them, we would have the money sitting there July 1st. When could you have it implemented? And they said for the fall programming season.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, no, yeah.
Tomorrow.
No, I just meant,
That's how I
yeah.
understood, that's why I
Yep.
didn't face.
So they still think that if we got the money July 1st, they'd have it ready for the fall. Yep.
And are they able to show you like mock-up, like just pretend sign-ups and how it looks and how user-friendly it is?
Yep, they showed us a whole thing. Yeah, they did a whole presentation for us. Actually, I think 4 different companies did.
Yeah.
Some are for bigger cities, some may not fit us as well. But the one this morning seems very good. It's called Amelia. And they seem really good. They have everything from big towns to smaller towns. I've checked in with a couple of their references, and it's all been good. So,
Anybody local?
No, nobody on the Cape.
Who do the
Most,
Cape people?
sorry, I was gonna say most Capes are using their own town website.
Well, no, a lot of them use My Rec.
So,
My
is that
Rec.
what Harwich uses, the My Rec? Is that not
Yeah.
their town website?
No, it's My Rec. It's a separate one they use.
Okay, my mistake.
So we've met with them as well. So we're waiting on a proposal from them.
My rec is a company that does
It's a
it.
company like that. Yeah. There's My Rec, Amelia. There's like 6 of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
That's good to know, because it seems, I guess the way they platform it, it seems just.
I think they
built
link it into their
Yeah,
website
it
somehow.
seems well based into it, so
Yep,
that would be
yep,
something
yep.
we could do with this as well, right?
And that same thing, yeah. So
Okay,
people can
great.
go to like Town of Harwich, Google, and go to the website, and then click on Rec, and they can get to the Rec site.
It's not a convoluted way to get.
No. Yeah, it would still be the same way.
And you can
Yeah.
put these same links on social media as well.
Social media,
You
yep,
can put them
yep.
right on there.
Instagram, TikTok,
Sign
yep.
up, sign up for
Little
your.
link, yep.
Okay,
Yep,
perfect.
yep,
That's-
yep. So that's the
I
goal.
think that would
Yeah.
help you as well, if the more user-friendly it is, the less calls you'll get. saying,
Exactly, yep.
I can't get to it and I can't
Yep,
sign up,
yep,
so that's
yep.
awesome. Okay, perfect.
And in the meantime, we have a thing set up on the website right now. So people can go on to Harwich, Town of Harwich, go to the Rec website, and they can subscribe right now. So if you subscribe, then any flyer we put out, any flyer that Elaine puts out, she's doing it, I mean, but if you put out a flyer or a brochure, and you put it on the website and you're subscribed, you will get emailed right now.
Perfect.
So
That's
until
awesome.
we get that set up, that's the stopgap.
Kind of like the
Yeah.
selectmen's meeting, the wastewater management.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
update came out today.
Which is nice, because
Yeah.
people can email and say, well, how do I find this? And say, click here, hit subscribe, anything new, you'll get it,
That's perfect.
So.
yeah.
Progress.
So that and
Yep,
the,
yep,
and
we're
the
getting
social
there.
media posts will hit everybody.
Yeah,
That's perfect.
and social media has been great because, I gave it over to Meredith Rowe, who's one of our college girls that works for us. And
That's why we're seeing so
she is awesome.
I saw she.
So she was like, she said, well, what do you want to do with the Instagram and the TikTok? I said, well, here's my phone. Go ahead, go for it. I said, this is the password to the site.
Yeah,
She's
she
been
could,
great.
she can just probably do it
Yep,
right.
so she's
from-
been awesome.
I sent you pictures of the rugby tournament.
I can get those. Yep, I'll send them over to
Just
her.
put a comment, because has he come in to see you yet?
No.
Want to do it again and
Yep,
then
yep.
add 2 more teams.
No, not yet.
So that might be a teaser, maybe not now, but maybe next month or
Okay, sure,
whatever.
sure. Yeah.
If I see Josh, I'll have him come in and see you.
Okay, sounds good. But I'll give it to her. She gets them up in
Yeah,
like a second.
that's all it takes.
Yep.
And I saw she wrote DM me to one of the comments, I go, that is not ever.
No,
He's not
it's
doing
definitely
that.
not me. Definitely not me. Yep,
That's a great idea. I love
Yep.
resourcing it out to somebody on.
yeah, she knows her stuff.
6-year-old.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly. No, I love that.
Okay, any other questions on the director's report?
I'm just seeing if I have anything else. I think that's all I had for updates.
I have another question on your report.
Sure.
I love the new programming.
Yes, that's the other thing I was thinking.
Okay, I love seeing that. Are these people that have come to you, or have you reached out to them?
A little of both. So we had a 7-8 soccer. It's really, I should relabel it, so I've met with her since then. It's more of a 3v3 soccer for grades 7 and 8. We're putting together a flyer right now. It looks like it's gonna be a go. We'll see who signs up and go from there. But she wants to teach it herself, which will keep she doesn't want to be paid. It'll keep the cost very low for us.
Perfect.
As far as gymnastics, that one, we're just looking for gym time. That's the hardest part for that. It has to be indoors. Gym time, we have to move the mats upstairs, so we're working on that. Self-defense, same thing. And then there's another one, I don't even know if I put it in. The mountain biking, yes. So I'm waiting to hear back from him again. He wants to base it out of Brooks Park. But he's supposed to be sending me like a flyer on what he's thinking, and then we can put it out there. See.
Awesome.
So all these are, they're not done deals, but we'll put them out, see who signs up.
Right,
Go
and
from
then,
there.
and that costs us nothing, so. I love
Exactly,
that.
yep.
I had one more thought on the new programming.
Sure.
Because I feel like maybe it's not common knowledge that people can call you and say, hey, I'd like to run this program.
Yep.
Can I run it through the rec? So maybe we could have some sort of, PR
Yep,
saying,
yep.
hey, do you have a skill? Is this something you'd like to do? Is your
Program
skill-
ideas.
Yeah,
Yep, yep.
if, so we could say you can come and run your own program here through the rec, use the facility, so and so, however
yeah,
it's
yeah.
phrased
Yeah,
properly. The other, thing we can do, and now with Megan on social media, is we can say, we're looking to start some new programming, we want to expand our programs, and put a poll out and ask the community, what would you like to see?
Yep.
What do you feel like we should be having, and, or maybe put in a, not saying what we're lacking, but
That would be interesting.
I would love to see, what the feedback is, because maybe there's people who are saying, we really want this, and it wasn't even on our radar.
Yep, yep.
I know one of the towns is, they have the kids pickleball, and it's blowing up. So, I would never have thought of that at all.
Yep.
And maybe there's things on your radar too that you're just not aware of, and
Yep.
someone comes in there like, hey,
Yep,
I'd
yep.
love to see this.
Yep, I can get that all out on social media.
Yeah, and that's something pretty easy that, can get put right up, that Megan can do that.
Yep,
And just say, we want to expand programming, what do you guys want to see, what would you like to see over the next year that we can be adding? And we don't have to add all the programs right now,
No,
but say,
but over
hey,
time,
over
yeah.
fall, in the winter, next spring,
Yep.
we're working towards these things. And same as if, do you have something you can offer? Run it through the rec.
Yeah,
And then
yeah,
we can advertise those as programs we're running
Sure.
here.
Yep, yep.
So I think that would be great.
Okay.
And then one more idea for new programming is,
No, go for it.
more, maybe, so I know, Chatham does like their ski trip. Something, a ski trip, and it's open to all Monomoy kids.
Yep,
Maybe
yep.
something like that, or even just partnering up with like the Paw Sox. You can call them and they donate a certain amount of tickets.
We've done that with our summer camp.
Yeah, exactly,
Yep,
and you can
yep.
say, hey, come down to the rec, we
Yep,
have
yep.
this number of Paw Sox tickets available.
Yep, yep.
Just things like that kind of open it up a little bit to the whole community as well.
Yep.
I noticed we have a pick up your own, it's probably too late now, but a pick up Easter egg hunt. Maybe next year we think about hosting our own, things like that.
Wait.
The community center is hosting a pick up your own Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, we work with them.
Okay, so maybe we could do something like
They don't hide them in the backyard anymore?
They used to, COVID kind of changed it.
I would like to put the kibosh on that.
Well, that's not up to me.
I know.
Yeah.
Really?
But maybe that's
Yeah.
something that, because I know it's definitely returned.
Yeah, I mean, when we used to have it out back, that was
Yeah.
a joint, like we had our staff out there.
So that would be, those I think maybe a couple of those events throughout the year would be
Yep,
huge.
yep.
Didn't we used to do waterways? Didn't
We
we
do
used
that
to
in the
do
summer.
trucks?
Yeah, 2
Yeah.
summers ago. Well, 3 summers, pre-COVID.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so
We
those
did
are
waterways,
summer
Paw
camps.
Sox. Yeah, we're looking to do that again.
So those are summer camp programs.
Yes,
Right?
yes,
So
yep.
maybe we have 1 or 2 a year that's open to not just summer camp kids, but like, hey, you're a Monomoy kid or you're a Harwich kid, sign up.
Yep,
We're
yep.
taking a bus up and this is
Yep,
what we're doing.
Yep, and we've done,
Yeah.
we used to do stuff like that.
Right,
Yep,
exactly.
yep.
I'm sure COVID put a hold on a lot of
Yep,
stuff.
yep.
But I'd love to see that stuff kind of start to
Sure,
return.
yep.
Awesome. That's all I have. Thank you so much.
Got it.
Anything else, David Nix?
Winter ski trips.
That's,
I
yeah,
thought, yeah,
that's what I
Yeah, she
said.
brought that up.
she started with that.
We used to.
We haven't done that since I've been here, but I could look into it.
Yeah,
Go to
Chatham,
Wachusett?
Chatham does Wachusett, every February vacation, and they get 50, 60 kids on.
Yeah, we used to, yeah, okay.
Oh, you're talking about kids, I'm talking about adults.
Oh.
Oh, yeah, I mean, you
Really
could do
adults.
both. Yeah, right, I know. We've had
The
our
kids,
time.
yeah.
They have a ski club.
Yep.
Quite a ski club.
Oh, that's
Oh,
awesome.
this town we used to rent a van to go, they'd give us the van to go wherever we wanted to go. So.
You talk about skiing up in the
Yeah,
Berkshires.
years and years and years.
Up in the Berkshires, they start the kids at grade 2. And they take them up to Greylock, up Mount Greylock. And they, right after school, once a week. And they go from second grade all the way through.
I have 2 of those. All right, anything else on the director's report? Monthly maintenance.
Yes,
Oh, sorry.
just to follow up from our last meeting, The situation in the gym, was there any conclusion to that?
She was on the agenda for this evening, David. And but
But
Eric, you
I-
can fill
Was there
it.
any
Yeah, no, I met with her. So the kids that she had an issue with, like, nothing's changed in our plan for open gyms. Because we do, especially during vacation weeks, we try to put it where we have an all-age open gym and we have a separate one for the younger kids. So, they're not conflicting each other. But I did meet with her. She understood, it was a good conversation. So I'm guessing that's why she's not here. But
So you're comfortable with it?
oh yeah, yep.
Thank you.
Maintenance report? I'm assuming you're in out of Reading?
Well, yeah, the printer did.
That's what I mean.
So yeah, there's nothing huge changed on there. The wood chips to the playground are being delivered soon.
There's a sign up there that they're gonna be closed.
Yes, yep, they're gonna close for
The
that.
chips.
Brian ordered them. Yep.
I saw on the back side of the sign, it said Harwich High School. 'Cause I
Did it
had-
really?
I had her in the playground.
Repurposed the sign.
And I'm looking at the back of the sign, it's Harwich High School.
Yeah. The only other update on there is the beach signs. I did meet. I don't know if that was before last meeting or not, but I met with the deputy chief about the new signs at all the beaches for the closing times. So we ordered all new signs for all the beaches. So those are coming in soon. Highway knows they're coming.
John's favorite.
Yep. Highway knows they're coming. They're waiting for them. As soon as they get here, they're gonna put them up. So.
Can we send an attaboy or an attaboy to DPW? Has anybody been down to Red River Beach? They dragged it the other day, they put all new sand on it, and it's just steel.
Does.
They've done an outstanding job.
Oh, you know what else I should update? Moby mats. So I met with the Disability Rights Committee. They do want more Moby mats, more access to the beaches. We currently do have the boardwalks at the beaches, and then we have the beach wheelchairs at the staff beaches. But they'd like a little extension on that. I've talked to Highway since then, because I want to facilitate what they want, but I don't want to get in the way of beach cleaning. So somewhere in between, I want to find a middle ground. So I just heard from Highway today, as far as Red River goes, and we can afford to get like another 40, 50 feet. They usually come in 50-foot rolls, the Moby mats. So I'm going to place an order for those. But they're just going to check the other beaches to see how far we can extend without it being a huge impetus to the beach cleaning. So as soon as I get their final word, we're going to put in an order for Moby mats, which are easy to put out. We can put them out. You stake them down, you take them up at the end of the summer. So that's the plan.
Excellent.
Any questions, comments on the monthly maintenance report? Seeing none, revolving or the budget report?
I don't have one of those because Elaine's not here.
Moving on.
So
David Nixon, CPC, any report?
No, we're having a regular meeting Thursday night. We're gonna discuss the trust, and we're waiting for a town meeting.
Okay, thank you. Then,
We didn't have a meeting last month, there was no quorum, so nothing to report.
okay. Old business, we're gonna table recreation program scholarship funding at Eric's request to a
Yep.
further date. Fee policy, what did you want to do on this, Eric?
what's that?
What did you want to do on the fee policy?
Fee policy, so we didn't, this is something that's gonna, obviously go into effect for next year, because we've already taken pretty much all our field use fee, groups already this year. But these are just things to think about, that I made a list of, and I'll just quickly go over them. We've noticed one thing that doesn't make a ton of sense, and we haven't done a lot of updates to the form in a long time, that the cap is $1,000 for all fields. But the White House field per use fee is 50, whereas every other field is 20. So it would make sense that the White House field cap, if you were gonna have a cap, would be higher than the other fields. So it's something to think about, or getting rid of caps. That's another thing to think about. This actually started this year. We started taking full payment at booking. We used to take it at the end. This year we're requesting full payment at the booking time because we're constantly chasing people down.
So if they book 35 times at $50, that's what they owe you up front.
Right,
They don't use it, too bad.
Yep.
So what that does is that stops the people from booking the field just to book
Blanket
it.
booking.
And
Yep.
then somebody else can't use it.
Exactly. So that we were running into that and just chasing people down for money, and it wasn't, So if they want the field, they come in, they put the deposit down, they make the full payment, and they have it. So that's already gone into effect.
It's also a little bite there if they're causing problems.
Exactly. Yep.
And that should be in the form.
Yeah. Well, that's another thing we could think about. Like
If there's a problem with leaving the place a mess, or they're drinking, or they're doing whatever they're doing.
you lose your right to the rest of your
You
booking.
get suspended for the year, and you don't get your money back.
Yep. Multi-day events, it's kind of the same thing. It's $150 a day for multi-day events. White House Field is the same as every other field. So if you book White House for a multi-day event, it's $150 a day. But if you book McPhee Field for a multi-day event, it's $150 a day. Whereas maybe White House should be more for something like that. And that would also go towards, Highway has made a push to limit
The use.
of White House, So that could,
If you increase fees or the cap on White House, I think you're gonna see the number of users go down.
yep,
And that's,
which isn't necessarily awful.
No.
Yeah, yep,
Not
yep.
at all.
And then as far as the light use charge, we're still trying to figure out exactly how much we're paying per hour for the light use. But that's gonna be something that will change on the next form as well. What they pay per hour for lights at White House.
What is it right now?
Right now, it's $75
An hour?
per hour,
that should be
but it's gonna,
considerably less.
yes, yep.
Dennis is
It's gonna-
50.
It's gonna go, well, I mean, that was with the old lights. So now that we have the LEDs,
The
it
new
should
lights
go
still
considerably down. Yep.
$50 a night.
Yep. So these are things to think about.
Actually, sorry, $50 an hour.
An hour.
An hour. Yeah, that's what I meant. An hour.
No, you
Okay.
David, you had your hand up?
Yeah, but go ahead and finish this.
I was just gonna say, if you guys, this is for next season, when we'll put something together. So if anybody has any suggestions, changes,
So all this would be on the new applications.
yeah,
You
yep.
gotta redo the whole application.
Yeah, exactly, yep. Which would also have to go eventually to the selectmen, because it's fees. So, once we set
When do
it,
you want to have this approved, in preparation for next year? What's the timeline on this?
we would like it in the fall, because we usually start taking applications February 1st, so.
So this could wait until the fall. then?
Yep, yeah.
David?
Can we do something about fees or fines when people feed seagulls at Red River Beach?
Out of our purview.
Animal control, I don't know, yeah. Good question.
Stop feeding them, they won't come over to your truck.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, are we in the whole business?
Not yet. Oh, you're thinking new business? Fee policy, we just talked about that. Kayak storage rentals, update, please. Eric.
Yep, so kayak, I've been researching that. First thing I did was talk to Brewster, because they're the ones I knew that did that, the storage. I put it in the packet that their rate is $30 a year, which is very cheap.
I'm in.
So, but in the meantime, I mean, we could set our own fees. In the meantime, I tried to look into actually getting the racks. It seems at the moment, the best option on Amazon, they have log racks that are pretty affordable for what you have. Actually, and John, I was wrong, these are 3. These are racks of 3. So they're about $800 a piece. It's the biggest thing is just securing them. It would be more like chaining them to a tree or something, to make sure nobody takes them. The one thing I'm waiting on is I wrote administration to see liability-wise how that would work. It sounds crazy, but if somebody's putting their kayak on the top and they blow their back out,
Yep.
are we responsible? You know, how does that work?
What if the, what if the kayak is stolen? Who's,
If the kayak's stolen, that's another part of it. Yep. So I'm waiting to hear back from administration on that. But in the meantime, I was looking at different racks, what we could do. So that's, you know, that's all in your packet. So we're still working on it.
That log rack compared to the one I sent you from Kayak.
Yep.
And God knows if they're gonna get back to you. That log rack looks pretty chintzy
I know.
compared to
Yeah.
there's a company out.
It's not as
that
solid.
Does it with
Which is
4x4s, and
That's-
this thing looks
yeah.
like it would withstand a hurricane.
the kayak racks at Cape
He's
Cod.
not gonna any luck.
can we have somebody build them?
That's Facebook Messenger. So that company didn't have a phone number. So I wrote them a message. I'm waiting to hear back from them.
Can we get local carpenters or somebody to build?
To build
Yeah.
something? Yeah?
Yep.
All right.
I know, my neighbor, you know,
Got it.
Karen, you said, she's got a rack, she had a carpenter build, it's a four rack.
Really? Yeah?
Very reasonable.
Yeah. Well, send me anything you got.
This is
I'll-
making awfully, when that kayak lottery comes out, man, it's like,
That's,
Okay.
Do they,
There we
oh,
go.
so you guys do it too?
Yeah.
They do it at 3 different locations.
Oh, I didn't know that. I sent out a thing to all the rec directors, and the only one I heard back from was Brewster, so far.
If you need more from Suzanne, I can ask her.
Okay.
I just know I always get to chatter about the.
Yeah, send me anything you guys got.
Yeah.
Yeah, carpenters, anything.
Yeah, we're just grasping at straws in regards to getting them either from
Yeah.
Amazon or from the guy in Mashpee. If we got carpenters that are
Yeah, they can
build
do
them, give
it,
us a
yeah.
price and build them. And
Yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Yeah, and my only other thing for it would be, I think 30 a year is
That's
very low, I think.
Crazy low.
I'd love to hear what Wellfleet charges.
Yes, what do you
Do you
know?
know? Yes, okay.
But I mean, I could see people willingly handing over 75.
Oh, easy.
You know what I
Oh, God,
mean?
yeah.
Maybe even
Oh,
more
To
than
store their
125.
kayak for the year?
Well, that's what I mean. Would we also offer, would it be just for the year, or would we offer
Well, that's,
weekly as well?
that would be something to talk about.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
whether we do it by the week, by the month, by the season, by the year,
Yeah,
you know.
I mean, we
There's
could
a lot of-
offer both weekly and yearly.
Yep.
When would you want these done?
I mean, ideally it'd be for this summer, but it doesn't have to be. Like, we're not relying on this for this summer.
I'm only suggest, yeah,
Where are we gonna put these?
Well, what I was thinking,
Place we decided.
anywhere you could launch a kayak, I mean,
Where did she ask about, Eric?
What's
Sand
it?
Pond.
Sand
The lady
Pond,
that
yeah,
brought
she
this
asked about
up
Sand
Lives
Pond.
near Sand Pond.
I think Sand Pond and Cahoons would be ideal spots. And then there's Long Pond too.
Eric, we have 4 or 5 carpenters, contractors in
Yep.
our league. You know, if you want, I can ask them if they're
Sure,
interested.
yeah.
But I need a design, I need some
Yeah,
kind of a-
I could give
I need
you
some
some
kind of a schematic to.
dimensions. Yep.
Again, you wanna put them at, I understand where you think you wanna put them. Are we designing this for seagoing kayaks or for?
I'm thinking more ponds,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
ponds,
Yeah.
yeah, Cahoon,
What
Sand
kind of
Pond.
numbers are we talking?
We don't know that. That's why we're
Numbers, what, financially?
building.
No, not to build them. What kind of numbers for use?
How
I
many?
think you're gonna be really surprised by how many people.
I think what you do is
That
you
may
start
be true,
small,
But the next
yeah.
thing is that what we're doing? We're gonna have massive units of kayaks?
No.
In the parking lot?
No,
no,
David,
no.
these aren't massive. They're the size that.
You're talking like 6 kayak slots
Here's a
or
kayak right
whatever.
here at this table.
No.
Split down the middle, arms, 3 arms,
There's,
6
yeah, to the
kayaks.
side, they don't.
Show them the one that Eric from Cape Cod.
Yeah.
Kayak, please.
Yeah.
So looking at Wellfleet quick, they do 4 different landings, 100 per year, May 1st to November 1st, 48 spaces. It's a 4-page application,
that.
I get everything, I'd send it to you and Eric.
I just-
Okay, perfect.
I mean, we would probably, I could absolutely see us ending up on a lottery, having to do a lottery
Oh, yeah,
system.
yeah.
Because that first come, first serve, you get a lot of, I have to work, I have this, I have
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
I think we would absolutely see,
Especially Sand Pond,
lot.
you could stick those.
You know where else you could put one of those? Bucks Pond.
Yeah,
On
yeah,
the, on the
yeah.
public side, because
Absolutely.
they're just laying there right now.
and as far as the waivers go, I would say it's.
No, there's no
We've already
parade.
gone through with plastics.
Wait, what?
People wanting plastic units on the ponds.
Well, no, they do wood.
They would, yeah, they'd be
No,
wood.
you misunderstand. It's-
Totally.
plastic. They were against.
We're gonna ban
plastic.
kayaks?
No,
They're there anyway. They're
Yeah.
illegally
But the
storing
point
them now.
is,
So
they
this
said-
is,
make some
We
money.
don't
Yeah,
want
exactly.
plastics on our beaches.
They're talking about takeout containers,
Yeah.
not
yeah, it's
kayaks.
not,
Holy.
No, go back, John. Go back to when we were gonna have a playground at Sand Pond. We were gonna put a spinner.
Yeah.
We can't have plastics.
it wasn't about plastic, it was, they
Well,
didn't
that's what
want
they
it.
made it about. They
Oh, I
made it
didn't even
about
call the
plastic.
plastic, I thought you were talking about the
They just didn't
takeout,
want it.
because that's this year's
I
thing.
feel like there's probably more people that
That's
wanna store
Brewster.
their kayaks than
Yeah.
care about the plastic kayaks.
And we're not talking like 50 kayaks, we're talking like 6, you know, 6
David
slots or
just
something.
I'd probably do 8.
Let's not kid anybody.
But it's an excellent point you made, Eric. They're there already.
Yeah, yeah.
They're illegally stored, stacked, thrown in the bushes. I mean, they're
They are.
there. And then we're talking DPW's dragging them out because some
Or
just
harbor
sit there.
master,
Harbor
yeah,
master, yeah.
yeah.
Because they're just sitting there, one
Well,
will
no,
pet it.
what you're doing is you're saying they're there already, so it's all right for them to do that. It's all right for us to do that. We tried to put an end to that. That went nowhere.
Well, no,
So if they're
now-
there already, we might as well make money off it.
Right, and now, if your kayak's
So
not
what about
stored in a
people who are
stack,
One at a
leave
time,
their-
one at a time.
Their units in place as they are when you drive up to Sand Pond now, on the left-hand side.
Yep,
Not
There's
allowed.
sailboats,
Not allowed.
There's kayaks.
So that gives
They're
even
already there.
more-
That's my point.
that gives even more reason. So if we had a rack there for 6 or 12 kayak or whatever it was, and you could come to the office and secure your spot, or a lottery or whatever, however it works, that's even more reason for the ones that are legally there to take them out,
exactly, yeah,
get rid of them.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
That's what I was looking for.
yeah, 100%.
And it'll be a trial. I mean, we'll just
Yeah.
do 1 or 2 beaches at a time and if it
Try it,
works.
see how it works.
I think if we start, I think you're gonna see everybody asking for them at every beach.
Oh, sure.
For sure,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know? It's an easy
Okay.
moneymaker.
David, did you have something you were,
No, not till you get to the end of it.
I think you're there now.
Okay, we're there now.
CPC
So-
funding report, are you good?
No, we're all set.
That's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
No report?
I already gave it.
No, he's good. BCBS, MANFS, Uncle.
That was Jeff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was Jeff.
New business.
Okay, new business, old business. I'd like to make I'd like to make a request I make every year for you to write a letter to the police department. To have
Okay.
them do drive-bys for all the area programs we have.
And we've done that, so last year, we had them come in, I requested they come into the camp, do a little walk around, which they did, which is great, yeah, so.
That,
We'll
again,
continue, yeah, I'll ask for it
when I
to
ask
just
this
continue.
annually, I'm asking again. So just send an email this time,
Yep, sure.
make it
Just a
formal.
little, yeah, got it.
Thank you.
Leah, anything else? Yeah,
I'm good.
Michael?
Just a quick question, only because the land discussion came up tonight with Jeff's proposal. The land at Earl Beach, did that transfer over to the select board? I know we went to a meeting.
Out to the road,
That land that, okay. I wasn't
No,
sure.
not.
yeah, I don't think so, I think it's still ours.
Talking about the land, John, when did that parcel of land across the street? When did that parcel transfer to the school? I thought it was.
Been under
always-
school department as long as I can remember, because
I
we
always
went
thought it
through
was
this.
rec.
We went through this when they wanted to put a skate park over there.
Yeah,
There you go.
And went through it and said, guys, you don't own the land.
Right.
That's, because the minute this gentleman called me, I says, let me look it up, and it's map 50, parcel E4, schools.
Well, I know the school department was using it. The school department
It
was
wasn't
using
great.
for some of their programs at one time. They had a little,
Yeah.
something going on.
When Tim was in high school there, they had like a little course in there, yep. But it is, unless I'm reading it wrong, and Eric went to the assessors to
yeah,
confirm what
I
I
double
read.
checked.
So it is a school.
Yep.
And we went through that with
Yeah, it's
baseball, moving the care and custody of the baseball field from the school over to Harwich Rec Little League years ago. That was a,
Yes, it was.
It's a great spot, though.
Remember
Say
that?
that
Yes.
It's a good spot.
Yeah, it's a
What
great.
did you say that again?
The ball field?
Yeah.
Is there any other spot, I'm thinking even down by Brooks, like behind, like.
Well, that's what we were talking about today. The only problem with something like that is it's so set back. You know, like it's harder to monitor something that's set that far. But like that spot by White House is like right up on the
Right.
road.
I'm concerned with the next set of pickleball courts that they're too far off the beaten path.
Yeah. Well, that's a done deal now.
Oh, no, I mean,
Yeah,
not to
yeah.
not build them. but
Yeah.
You wanna go beyond that with something.
Well, that's why,
one of
I mean,
those-
we have all that, oh, speaking of that, I didn't bring that up.
Splash
Um,
pad?
No, well,
I'm still on it.
vandalism at Brooks Park. I just got 2 trail cameras.
Oh,
So
awesome.
I'm reading the thing, yes, I knew you'd like that. So I'm looking into how to hook them to my phone and the computer.
He
Do you
can't
want
show
them
you?
on your phone? Do you know how to use them? Well, I just got them, so I have them. As soon as I know how to work them, I'm gonna give them the highway and say, where do you think the best spots are? So we have 2 of them as a trial to see how they go. And we'll go
They're
from
killing
there.
that parking lot with the donuts.
I know, so this way,
This is pretty, the ones they did this weekend are pretty deep.
yeah,
See, that's the problem when you open up the park, that they took the barriers down too early, in my opinion.
I know.
Well, I remember years ago when they did a donut out in
White House?
White House. The school resource officer, smart guy, he went through every one of the SUVs that were outside, and he found all the grass stuff underneath the walls.
Cameras are a nice thing. We actually had, I was telling a couple of these guys today, in the gymnasium, we had the Jordan Fisher jersey, and it got stolen in the past 2 days. So Jordan Fisher, yeah, we had the jersey up for years. It's been hanging up there. And this morning it was gone. So Carolyn and Jamie checked the cameras from last night, and there was nothing. But they're going to backtrack a little bit,
Yeah.
see if they can find it, because we looked everywhere. It's just gone. It's completely gone.
Because
So
it was hanging, right?
it's been there forever.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
It's unbelievable what's going on with some of the kids.
Where did Michael, anything new? Danny said no, Leah said no.
Are we gonna listen to the band for all our?
The Titanic.
Part of the meeting.
We're
Motion,
going down.
To adjourn.
motion to adjourn?
Second.
Motion to adjourn, we have a second, all those in favor? Opposed can stay.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Didn't break Eric's record by any, David's record. by
Oh,
any
that was a
stretch,
good
but
one,
That
yeah.
was pretty,
Not bad.
Favorite one yet.
Go Bruins.